Now the question is, which selector technique is good? Okay. And how to find elements uniquely, right? This will come, with experience. With experience, you will get to know one thing. But okay, let's understand this. Which selector technique is it? If ID is present, that is the best way. And sometimes I'm talking if you're working in, your developers are also working with you, right? Co-located team is there, or you interact with the developers on daily basis, right? You can put this point that if you're not able to find any element, right, through ID, you can ask them that why not you can put the ID so that we will find these things uniquely in our automation code. They will be happily, they will put it, right? If it is possible, they will do it. Okay. Now Xpath. Xpath is a good way. CSS selector is another good way. Okay. Now the question is, which one is better? It's nothing like which one is better or which one we should use, which one we should follow. Why not all things we will follow? If your team, you have to educate your team also, right? That we can use ID, we can use XPath, we can use CSS selector also, right? So some companies say, no, 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 we will use only XPath because that is a company standard. But I don't buy that idea, because if you understand how ID works, how XPath works, how CSS selector works, right? Let the automation team decide what they want to use it, right? Or sit with the UI development team. They will also help you, right? To set up this locator techniques. Okay. So XPath, CSS selector, if you can make it, it's the best one, right? XPath has its own advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, you can play with the XPath. There are a lot of options available, going to the parent, going to the sibling, going to the child element. There are a lot of options available. Finding element by text, a lot of options available. CSS selector, it's good to use, but there are some options available in the XPath which is not available in the CSS selector. Okay, fine. How to find the element uniquely? Now, the thing is, you identify by this, but the thing is, if some attributes are not available, through that you can find the element uniquely. If those attribute itself is not available, what to do? So go to the parent. So the answer is, if you are not able to find the element uniquely, find the parent uniquely. Okay, find the parent uniquely and then go to the child. Go to the particular child. Right, so you can find it. So you can find element within the element. If you know this thing, what I'm saying is, in Selenium, basically what you can do is driver dot in an other automation, also in Cypress also, you do find element. Let's say you write something here, but after this you can again say find element. Okay, so you are restricting the area. You know the parent, find the parent uniquely, and then find the child after that. Okay. So somebody is saying, can you take other example? No, I'm not taking Facebook or Naukri, and I'm doing it deliberately. The reason is because I want to keep it simple as of now. If you want to ask a particular question, give me that website that I'm not able to find a particular element or something, right? What is the difference between relative XPath and absolute XPath? Somebody's saying, right? Yeah, that I'm yet to go there. So the thing is, if you see here, for that submit button, this was the full XPath. So this is full address. This is full address. Okay. And this is full address to that element, complete address. And you will be able to find it through going from HTML tag to the body tag, going here. And this is relative. So how to decode this? This is means double slash means anywhere in the page, right? It is not saying that start from the HTML tag. No, no, no. It's saying anywhere in the page. Star. Here star means any tag name. Okay. Any tag name. What is tag name? Tag name is this, right? So for example, for this current balance, this is input is the tag name. Okay. Input is the tag name for this. These are all tags. TAG tag. Okay. So star means any tag name, bracket, @ID means where the attribute ID is present and the value of that is submit. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is anywhere in web page where tag name can be anything. Okay. Where tag name can be anything. Okay. And attribute ID value is submit. Okay. So this is the meaning of this relative XPath. So relative XPath is, if I give the example with the same thing, right? This India, China and all, right? You can write the relative XPath also. So for example, if you think that there's a very famous place, right? And you want to identify through that place, what you say? You generally say near Subhash Chowk, right? Something like, or you say, let's say near McDonald's, right? Something like that, right? So this is like relative thing, that you want to find an element, but you want to find it through some other element, right? That is called relative thing. Okay. I'll take one more example for the relative part. Don't worry. So for example, this register me button, if I want to, okay, let's take some other example. Somebody is saying that this is pretty simple one. Well, let's take some other examples. So for example, let's say I want to identify this login, right? Login button. So if I'll inspect this, see here, it is present. You can identify directly also where input. So let's write the XPath for this. Let's write, I'll copy this. I will simply copy the element, putting it into the notepad so that you will understand what I'm saying. Okay. So this is the element. So it's saying that input type is equals to text, ID is equals to login email, class is equals to something. So if I want to write the XPath for this, and it's better to use relative XPath, right? Why to start from the HTML root, and it will be big, otherwise. So write double slash, say input tag name and bracket, then say ID is equals to login email. This one, copy this, put it as it is here. Only thing is put it @ here and make this double quote to single quote. Done. So this will be the XPath. This will be the XPath for this text box. If you want to check it, whether we are right or not, go here in the elements tab, do Control F and put that XPath here. See here, we are able to find it. So this is absolute, but then, sorry, this is relative, but then what is absolute? What is absolute? The thing is, if I right click here and if I'll copy and say copy full XPath, and if I'll put it here, Here, what it is saying, hey, start from the HTML tag, go to the body. There is a div element. There is another div child element div. There is another main, means the child element to this div. Then in the main, go to the second div. Then again in the second div, go to the div. Then in that, go to the section 1. In the section 1, go to the div 1. In the div 1, go to the form. In the form, go to the input text box, input tag, right? If you see here, we can decode it. See here, what it is saying. Okay, let me write it here so that you will understand. What it is saying, see here, input is the last one. Before that, there is a form. See here, there is a form, correct? In the form, see here, form, there is div, right? And there is one more div. This is div 2, this is div 1. See here. Then there is a section. See here. So if I hover over it, it's say the area is getting bigger. So this is the form section. Okay. If you see here, there are 2 sections. In fact, there are multiple sections, right? So this is first section, maybe some other sections are there. If I hover over it, right? Then above the section, there is a div. See here, right? And then there, if I'll close this, then also there are divs. So this div, there may be this or there is a first div, there's a second div, this part. Above the div, there is main. See here, main tag. It's there. Above the main is the child of another div. See here, main is the child of this div. Then before the div, there is no other div, there is just body. If you go up, see here, it's a body. In the body, it's there in the HTML tag. Done. This is the complete address. Whereas in the relative address, you are directly jumping to that element. Okay. You are directly saying, hey, I want to find the input tag where the ID is this login email. That is called relative XPath. Okay. Now, if you want to convert XPath to the CSS selector, it's very easy. If you know about the XPath, you can play with CSS selector. So same thing, copy this, put it here. In CSS selector, you don't have to say double slash. You just say input. At the rate is not required. So how it will find out? In the web page, it's like find the tag input where ID is login email. So if I'll copy this and we'll go to the website, and if we will put it here, see here, we are able to identify through CSS selector also. This is called CSS selector and this is called XPath. Okay. So that's about CSS selector and XPath. We are going to do a lot of practice in the next session also.